William had no children, no wife, no immediate family except me. For years he had quietly built an enormous investment portfolio worth several $1 million. A few weeks after his funeral, his lawyer contacted me. William had named me as the sole beneficiary in his will. There was one condition. I had to attend the official legal hearing in person 3 states away. If I failed to appear, the inheritance process would be delayed and could face legal complications. I kept this information private. At least I thought I did. One evening Andrew visited unexpectedly. He sat in my kitchen, pretending to care about how I was doing. Then casually, he asked, "Dad, I heard Uncle William left behind quite a fortune." Immediately I felt uneasy. I asked where he heard that. He smiled and said, "People talk." Then he leaned closer. "You know, Dad, maybe this is the perfect time to start transferring family assets early." I stared at him. I asked what exactly he meant. He said I should immediately put him in control of all finances, including whatever inheritance I received. I refused. His face changed instantly. The warmth disappeared. He stood up and said, "You are making a mistake." I thought he was angry. I had no idea what he was planning. The morning of the hearing arrived. I woke before sunrise, packed my suitcase, double-checked all legal documents. The flight was scheduled in 2 hours. Everything seemed normal. Traffic moved smoothly. I reached the airport with plenty of time remaining. As I waited near the departure gate, I felt relief. I was minutes away from securing the inheritance. Then suddenly I noticed 2 uniformed security officers walking directly toward me. Their expressions were serious. One stopped in front of me. "Sir, please come with us immediately." I asked what happened. The second officer held up a printed report. It contained my name, passport details, and a security alert warning. According to the report, an emergency caller had reported that I was attempting to board with dangerous prohibited materials. My heart sank. I understood instantly. Andrew, this was deliberate. The officers escorted me into a private security office. I spent my entire life believing family was built on trust. I believed a father should sacrifice everything so his children could live better than he ever did. I gave my son opportunities I never had. I paid for his education, supported his dreams, and stood beside him during every failure. But I never imagined the day would come when my own son would try to destroy my life for money. That morning, I was standing inside one of the busiest airports in the country. I had one destination and one purpose. I was flying to attend a legal hearing that would decide the future of a multi-million-dollar inheritance left behind by my late brother. Missing that hearing meant losing everything forever. I had already checked in when 2 security officers suddenly approached me. Their expressions were cold. One of them looked directly at me and said, "Sir, please come with us immediately." I thought it was a misunderstanding. Then they showed me a report carrying my full name. The accusations written there were serious enough to ruin my life. At that exact moment I knew who was behind it. My son. But what happened next changed everything. Because I said one sentence, "Pull up the emergency call log now." And seconds later the officer holding the report lost all color in his face. Stay until the end, because what happened after that exposed a betrayal I never thought possible. My name is Eric Michael and I am 67 years old. I spent most of my life running a transportation company I built from nothing. My wife Emily and I worked for decades creating a stable future for our family. We were not rich, but we were comfortable. We believed hard work and honesty would eventually reward us. Our son Andrew was the center of our world. From the day he was born, I promised myself he would never struggle the way I did growing up. I paid for private schools. I covered every college expense. I bought him his first car. Every decision I made was focused on giving him the life I never had. But somewhere along the way, Andrew changed. As he entered his 30s, he became obsessed with money. Not earning money, fast money. He constantly talked about luxury lifestyles, expensive investments, and ways people became rich overnight. He hated patience. He hated discipline. Most of all, he hated the fact that I controlled the family assets. After Emily passed away 3 years ago, things became worse. Andrew stopped visiting regularly. Whenever he came over, he only talked about inheritance. He kept asking how much money I had saved. He wanted to know who would inherit the company. At first I ignored the questions. Then something unexpected happened. My older brother William passed away suddenly. I explained there had to be some mistake. They informed me airport emergency reports required immediate investigation. That process could take hours. My flight departure was in less than 30 minutes. I knew exactly what my son wanted. If I missed the hearing, he would gain time to manipulate the legal process. I stayed calm. The younger officer asked if I had anything to say. I looked directly at him and answered carefully, "Yes, pull up the emergency call log now." The officer looked confused. I continued, The person who made this false emergency report is connected to me personally. I know exactly who placed the call. The room became silent. The officers exchanged glances. One walked to the computer terminal. He began checking the internal airport reporting system. Seconds later, his expression changed completely. His face lost color. He turned slowly toward me. "Sir, are you saying the caller is your son?" I nodded. He stared back at the screen. Then quietly he whispered, "This report came from Andrew Carter, my son." The same officer immediately called his supervisor. Within minutes, the situation completely reversed. False security reports are serious criminal offenses, especially when intentionally used to interfere with transportation systems. The supervisor apologized repeatedly, but I was not finished. I explained the entire inheritance situation. I explained how Andrew had been pressuring me for months about money. I explained how this false report was a calculated attempt to prevent me from attending the legal hearing. The supervisor listened carefully. Then he asked if I wanted to file a formal complaint. I said yes, without hesitation. The officers contacted law enforcement immediately. One officer personally escorted me through a priority security lane. They arranged transport directly to my gate. As I boarded the plane, my phone rang. "Andrew?" I answered calmly. His voice sounded excited. "Dad, did you miss the flight?" I smiled. "No, son. Actually, I am already boarding." Silence. Then I added, "And the police know exactly who made the false emergency report." The line went dead instantly. I attended the will hearing without issue. The inheritance transfer was completed successfully. $3 million officially transferred into my name. 2 days later, I returned home. As I entered my driveway, I saw Andrew standing outside waiting. His face looked exhausted. He ran toward me. "Dad, please listen. I made a mistake. I was desperate. I thought if you missed the hearing, maybe you would finally agree to give me control over everything." I stared at him. I remembered every sacrifice I made for him, every overtime shift, every sleepless night, every dream I gave up for his future. And now he had tried to destroy my freedom for money. I said quietly, "You were willing to accuse your own father of a serious crime." He started crying. I interrupted him. "You did not betray my money. You betrayed the years I spent believing I raised a man with integrity." Then I handed him one envelope. Inside were legal papers. I had removed him permanently from every inheritance plan connected to my estate. Every asset, every investment, every property, gone. He stared at me in shock. I looked directly into his eyes. "You wanted money more than family. Now you get neither." I walked past him and entered my home. For the first time in years, I felt peace. Because sometimes the hardest lesson a parent learns is understanding love should never excuse betrayal, even when betrayal comes from your own child. My son thought greed would make him powerful. He believed manipulating his own father was just another strategy. But he forgot one truth. Trust takes a lifetime to build and only seconds to destroy. Sometimes the greatest inheritance a parent leaves behind is not money. It is the lesson that betrayal always comes with consequences, and karma always arrives exactly on time. This story is created for entertainment, educational and storytelling purposes only. Characters, situations, and events are fictionalized for dramatic storytelling impact. Any resemblance to actual persons or real events is purely coincidental. If this story shocked you and you believe betrayal should never go unpunished, then please like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe to Karma Revenge Tales for more emotional stories where karma always finds its way. Comment below because we want to hear what you think.